My cousin showed up to my wedding in a white dress and veil, laughing at me. I kicked her out and cut contact. That was 6 months ago. This morning, she was crying outside my house, begging to be let back in. You know those family members who just can't let anyone else have their moment? Yeah, that's my cousin Sarah. We grew up together practically like sisters, but somewhere along the way she turned into this attention-seeking drama queen who had to make everything about herself. So, picture this, it's my wedding day, right? I'm talking the whole 9 yards. We dropped serious cash on this thing. I'm talking about a venue that looked like something straight out of Pinterest, flowers that cost more than my first car, and a dress that made me feel like a straight-up princess. My now husband Jake and I had been planning this day for 2 years. 2 whole years of picking out centerpieces, tasting cakes, and dealing with his mom's opinions about literally everything. The morning starts off perfect. I'm getting ready with my bridesmaids at this fancy hotel, sipping mimosas and feeling like I'm living in a rom-com. My mom's crying happy tears, my sister's taking a million photos, and even my usually grumpy aunt is being sweet. Everything's going exactly how I dreamed it would. Then Sarah walks in. Now, I need you to understand something about wedding etiquette. Everyone and their grandmother knows you don't wear white to someone else's wedding. It's like the most basic rule in the CE book. But Sarah? She shows up wearing this flowing white dress that honestly looked bridal, complete with a freaking veil. Not like a cute little fascinator or whatever. I'm talking a full-on cathedral-length veil that probably cost more than most people's rent. The room goes dead silent, like you could hear a pin drop. My bridesmaids are staring with their mouths hanging open. My mom looks like she's about to have a heart attack, and I'm standing there in my robe trying to process what I'm seeing. Sarah just laughs. This high-pitched fake laugh that makes my skin crawl. She goes, "Surprise! I thought I'd dress up for the occasion. Don't I look beautiful?" I couldn't even speak at first. Like my brain just completely short-circuited. Here I am, on what's supposed to be the happiest day of my life, and my own cousin is trying to upstage me at my own wedding. My maid of honor, Jessica, bless her heart, steps up and goes, "Sarah, what are you doing? You can't wear that to a wedding." Sarah just shrugs, like it's no big deal. "Oh, this old thing? I just thought it was pretty. Plus, weddings are so stuffy and traditional. I'm just trying to add some fun." Fun. She called wearing a wedding dress to my wedding fun. That's when something in me just snapped. All the stress from wedding planning, all the money we'd spent, all the dreams I had about this perfect day, it all came rushing to the surface. I looked at Sarah and said, "Get out." She blinks at me like she doesn't understand. What? Get out of my wedding. Right now. Take off that dress and leave. Now she's trying to play the victim. Oh my gosh, you're being so dramatic. It's just a dress. Can't you take a joke? A joke. She called deliberately trying to ruin my wedding day? A joke. My mom finally finds her voice and starts trying to mediate, because that's what she always does. Girls, let's just calm down and figure this out. Sarah, maybe you could change into something else, but I'm done. I'm so far past done. I tell Sarah she has exactly 5 minutes to get out of my sight before I call security. Yes, we had security. Jake's family goes big on everything. Sarah starts crying these fake crocodile tears, talking about how I'm being cruel and heartless. She's going on about how we're family and family should support each other. The whole time she's talking, she's still wearing that white dress and veil, still looking like she's ready to walk down the aisle herself. My bridesmaids are rallying. Around me, my mom's stress-eating the continental breakfast, and I'm trying not to have a complete meltdown 2 hours before I'm supposed to say I do. Sarah finally leaves, but not before making this big dramatic exit about how I'll regret this, and how she was just trying to make the day special. Special for who, I wanted to ask, but I bit my tongue. Update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support so far. Just want to clarify a few things before I continue. Yes, she really did wear a full veil. And no, there was no way this was an accident. Some of you are asking if she might have been going through something personal, which leads me to ask, does that excuse deliberately trying to sabotage someone's wedding? The ceremony goes on, and honestly, it was beautiful. Jake was incredible. He didn't even know about the Sarah drama until later, because I didn't want to ruin his day too. We said our vows, kissed, and for a few hours I managed to forget about the whole mess. But then at the reception, people keep asking where Sarah is. Apparently, she'd been telling people for weeks how excited she was about the wedding, how she had this amazing dress picked out. Some of our relatives are confused about why she left so suddenly. I end up having to explain the situation to like 20 different people throughout the night. Each time I tell the story, I get more annoyed. My wedding day, the day that's supposed to be about me and Jake starting our life together, and I'm spending it explaining why I kicked out my own cousin. Jake finally pulls me aside during the father-daughter dance. He goes, "Babe, what's going on? You seem stressed." So I tell him everything. This man, I swear, he's a saint. He just holds me and says, "I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. This is our day, and no one gets to take that away from us." That's when I really knew I married the right guy. The weeks after the wedding, things get messy. Sarah starts posting on social media about how hurt she is, how I attacked her for wearing a dress. She's not telling the full story, obviously. She's making it sound like I freaked out over some innocent outfit choice. Some of our mutual relatives start reaching out, trying to get me to make peace and be the bigger person. I shut that down real quick. I explained to anyone who'll listen exactly what happened. Most people get it once they hear the whole story, but there are a few family members who think I should just let it go, because family is family. Sarah tries reaching out a few times, first through other relatives, then directly. She sends these long text messages about how she's sorry if I misunderstood her intentions. Notice how she never actually admits she was wrong? It's all, I'm sorry you felt that way, and I didn't mean for you to take it that way. I don't respond to any of it. Jake and I talk about it, and we decide that we're done with the drama. Block Sarah on everything and make it clear to our families that we don't want to hear about her. For 6 months, life is peaceful. Jake and I settle into married life. We go on our honeymoon to Hawaii, which was amazing, by the way, and I finally stopped thinking about the wedding drama every single day. Then this morning happens. I'm getting ready for work, just minding my own business when I hear someone crying outside. At first, I think it's maybe a neighbor or something, but then I look out the window and there's Sarah sitting on my front porch steps, sobbing her eyes out. She looks terrible. Like, genuinely terrible. Her hair's a mess, she's wearing sweatpants and an old t-shirt, and she's got those puffy red eyes that come from crying for hours. Part of me, the part that remembers growing up with her, having sleepovers and sharing secrets, wants to go out there and see what's wrong. But the bigger part of me, the part that's still angry about the wedding, stays put. Jake comes up behind me and sees what I'm looking at. What's she doing here? I have no idea. Sarah sits out there for like an hour. Every now and then she'll look up at the house, like she's hoping I'll come out. She tries knocking a few times, calling my name, but I don't answer. Update. Okay, guys, I know some of you think I should have at least heard her out, but here's what I keep thinking. If she was really sorry, wouldn't she have reached out properly instead of showing up unannounced? Why does she think she can just appear on my doorstep and expect me to drop everything? What would you do in this situation? Finally, around noon, she gets up and leaves, but not before slipping a letter under my door. I stare at that envelope for like 20 minutes before I finally pick it up. My hands are actually shaking as I open it. The letter is 4 pages long, handwritten, and it's a mess of tears and smudged ink. Sarah's telling me about how sorry she is, how she's been going to therapy, how she realizes what she did was wrong. She talks about being jealous of my relationship with Jake, how she felt left out when I got engaged, how she made a terrible decision that she regrets every single day. She writes about how our grandmother always said we were like real sisters, and how she's lost that forever because of her own stupidity. She mentions specific memories from when we were kids, the time we got lost at the mall and stuck together until our parents found us, the summer we built that elaborate fort in her backyard, the way we used to stay up all night talking about our dreams. By page 3, I'm crying too. But then I remember my wedding day. I remember the humiliation, the stress, the way she laughed when she first walked in wearing that dress. I remember her fake apology texts and her social media posts, playing the victim. The letter ends with her begging for one conversation, just one chance to apologize in person and try to explain herself properly. She promises she'll leave me alone forever if I just give her that much. I sit there with this letter for hours, reading it over and over. Jake comes home from work and finds me on the couch, still holding it. What did it say? He asks. I hand it to him and watch his face as he reads. When he's done, he sets it down and looks at me. What do you want to do? That's the thing about Jake. He never tells me what I should do. He just asks what I want and supports me either way. I don't know, I tell him honestly. Part of me wants to hear her out, but part of me thinks this is just more manipulation. What does your gut tell you? My gut tells me that Sarah had 6 months to reach out properly. She could have called, texted, sent a normal letter, asked a mutual relative to set up a meeting. Instead, she shows up at my house uninvited, crying on my porch like some kind of dramatic movie scene. My gut tells me that this is exactly the kind of attention-seeking behavior that led to the wedding incident in the first place. I think I'm done, I say out loud, and saying it makes me feel lighter somehow. Jake nods. Then you're done. You don't owe her anything. That night, I write my own letter. It's short and to the point. I tell Sarah that I received her apology, but that too. Much damage has been done. I explain that her actions on my wedding day weren't just about a dress. They were about her inability to let anyone else have their moment. I tell her that showing up at my house uninvited just proves that she still doesn't understand boundaries. End the letter by saying that I wish her well, but that I need to protect my peace and my marriage. I ask her not to contact me again. The next morning, I mail it. Update. Final update, guys. I know some of you thought I should give her another chance, but here's the thing. Sometimes protecting your own peace is more important than maintaining toxic family relationships. For those asking if I feel guilty, honestly, I feel relieved. Should I have handled this differently, or was I right to trust my instincts about Sarah's true motivations? It's been 2 weeks since I sent that letter, and I haven't heard from Sarah. My mom called once to tell me that Sarah reached out to her, crying about my cruel response. Apparently, Sarah was hoping I'd at least agree to family therapy or something. I told my mom the same thing I told Sarah. I'm done. Some bridges once burned can't be rebuilt. The funny thing is, I don't feel guilty about it. I thought I would, but I don't. Jake and I are happy, our marriage is strong, and I don't miss the drama that always seemed to follow Sarah around. Yesterday was our 6-month wedding anniversary. Jake surprised me with dinner at the restaurant where we had our first date. As we were sitting there, laughing about some silly story from work, I realized something. I hadn't thought about Sarah or the wedding drama in days. That's when I knew I'd made the right choice. Some people might think I'm heartless for not giving my cousin another chance. But here's what I've learned. You can love someone and still recognize that they're toxic for your life. You can have happy memories with someone and still choose to protect yourself from their harmful behavior. Sarah taught me that just because someone is family doesn't mean they get unlimited chances to hurt you. She taught me that it's okay to set boundaries, even when other people don't like them. Most importantly, she taught me that I deserve relationships built on respect and genuine love, not manipulation and drama. My wedding was supposed to be the beginning of my new life with Jake. In a weird way, it was also the beginning of my new life without toxic people who don't wish me well. And you know what? That new life is pretty great. Jake and I are talking about buying a house next year. We want to start a family eventually. We're building something beautiful together, something based on trust and mutual respect. Sarah's probably still out there, somewhere, creating drama and making everything about herself. But that's not my problem anymore. I chose peace. I chose my husband. I chose myself, and I'd make the same choice again every single time.